I'll keep it 100 with you. I never thought the gold confiscation crowd would be right. I mean, people like Lynette Zhang have been ringing that bell for years as she pushed overpriced pre 33 gold. But here we are, watching gold get confiscated in plain sight, not by force or scam, but out in the open for the world to see. And here's the wild part, they're using recycled US dollars, money that used to buy our bonds, and now they're buying gold with it. It's kind of genius, diabolical, and honestly, it should be criminal. Oh, and for the record, I'm not talking about China's behavior being criminal. I'm talking about our behavior. While we're over here doing hip thrust over the Mag 7, tariffs are choking out consumers, bond auctions are flopping, and our debt is pulling us down like we have cement shoes on. Central banks around the world are playing to win. China is definitely playing to win. And we're still over here arguing about auditing Fort Knox like that's going to change anything. Here's what I know. No matter how much gold we have, we need more as a country and as individuals. Don't get me wrong, I'm 100% Team USA, but we're handling our gold policy like Shannon Sharp handles IG Live. Reckless, short-sighted, and highly embarrassing. In the meantime, what I can control is my stack, and you should do the same thing too. So let's talk about how to prepare, how to protect, and how to prosper. But before we do that, I need to say one quick thing. What is good, Stackers University? It is so good to have you here with me today. Let's just go. With all that out of the way, we might as well start with the obvious question. If central banks are stacking gold, why aren't you? It doesn't matter how bullish silver you are, you have to consider a non-zero gold position. If you don't have any gold, then you have to consider swapping your silver for gold whenever that blasted gold to silver ratio hits 60 or so. Because listen to what happened in April. China's central bank logged its sixth straight month of gold purchases, now holding 2,295 tons, or about 6.8% of their reserves. Chinese gold ETFs added $6.8 billion in April, which is about 65 tons. Asian countries represented 65% of the entire global ETF inflows during April, and China was 56% by itself. Did y'all hear me? 56%. That's not by accident. That's because they're confiscating the gold. In February, China quietly approved a policy allowing insurers, insurance companies, to invest up to 1% of their assets in physical gold for the first time ever. That's potentially another $27 billion in new demand just sitting there waiting to be deployed. Now, ask yourself another rhetorical question. Why would they do that? To shift from buying US bonds to buying gold, which will be really bad for our interest rates and our ability to fund our deficit. So this isn't looking good. This isn't some pipe dream speculation of what the BRICS are going to do. These are real market moving shifts. This is why the gold prices remain elevated and the pullbacks keep getting bought. Meanwhile, most Americans are just sitting around watching this like it's the Macy's Day Parade. I'm not sure what we're doing. So how can you prepare? One, you don't need to back up the truck, but you do need to get your weight up. We measure our wealth in ounces, not opinions. Two, think like a central banker. Add physical. Then add some mining exposure and even some paper. I know we have strong feelings about paper metals, but listen, the markets don't care about your feelings, and your money cares about your returns. Number three, don't chase hype. Follow the quietest money in the world, central banks and governments, and ask, what do they know that we don't? Now, let's talk about protection. Remember, we stack not to get rich quick, but so we don't get poor by surprise. And I'm not talking about hiding your stack in the floorboards or prepping for a door knock from the Chinese army when I talk about protection. They're not coming for your gold. They're already taking it on the open market. The real confiscation happens when life throws a headshot at you and you don't have your guard up. I'm talking about job loss, divorce, medical bills, recessions, whatever kind of calamity that could happen. And suddenly, your shiny metals that you swore you would never touch are gone, liquidated for that emergency. While that is part of the point of having gold and silver, that could be avoided potentially. Let me shoot it straight. The number one risk to your gold stack isn't the US government or any other foreign government. It's your personal finances. That's why step one in protection is getting your financial life in order. You have to plug those leaks so a personal crisis is solved with fiat savings and not your metals. That's why I created this financial blueprint, which is free, y'all, at stackersuniversity.com. It's not a budgeting worksheet, it's not a upsells to anything else. It is my donation and my gift to the community. It's a complete guide to putting your financial life on stable ground. Because when your foundation is shaky, everything else, including your goal, is up for grabs. Protect your cash flow, build a moat around your lifestyle. Don't touch your gold or silver. That's how you hold your stack, not just for now, but for when it really matters. That's your protection. Now, let's talk about thriving, or what I'm calling prosper, in this video. Regardless of what is going on around you, it's not about surviving. It's always about thriving. Trust me, I talk about that in the financial blueprint. I know what it means to survive, and I know what it means to thrive. Too often, we stack as a defensive move. Now is the time to shift to offense. It's really simple. The further you get from zero in gold and silver, the better you are. You don't need 100 ounces of gold or 5,000 ounces of silver. But if you've got zero, you are at risk. You're one step from dependence and two steps from regret. And while the herd is distracted, prices and metals are moving slowly and quietly. The way that you prosper is through our metals. These aren't just price moves, they're signals. Signals that smart money is already loading up. And you still got time if you prepare and protect. Prospering is simple, which is our next part. One, if you haven't started stacking, start now. And if you're currently stacking, keep stacking with conviction and controlled aggression. Two, consider adding leverage, because a few smart mining picks can amplify your gains. Three, be patient. Stack while it's boring. Accumulate while they're still ignoring it. Remember, we buy the boredom, not the boom. And when that breakout happens, sit tight, be right, let time do the heavy lifting. Prosperity doesn't come from hype, it comes from stacking early, protecting wisely, and thinking like the CEO of your life and not a worker bee. If you've been watching all this unfold and you still haven't started stacking, you're not too late, but you're not early anymore either. In the comments section, what's your stacking strategy right now? Physical, ETS, miners, or a mix? Do you think we're already living through a form of gold confiscation? Or simply put an A plus in the comments so everyone knows that you always stack smarter and never stop learning. That brings us to the end of the educational content for this video. And next, we have a sponsored video. So a big thank you to AXCP Ventures, US ticker symbol GARLF, for sponsoring this portion of the video. AXCP Ventures has raised some eyebrows with some serious insiders buying stock in recent weeks, as I'll show you in a few moments. Now, AXCP Ventures was set up with a very specific goal in mind: to capitalize quickly on the distressed conditions in the gold sector. The management assumes that their assets, which are comprised of about 5.57 million ounces of gold equivalent resources in the measured and indicated category, and an additional 0.5 million ounces inferred, are valued around $6 an ounce, while its peers are trading for as much as 8x more. So they could be re-rated. So you know that got my attention. I even had to make sure that I read that right. I recommend that you don't take my word for it. You start researching AXCP Ventures US GARLF for yourself. As you can see here, their thesis is based on the case study of previous instances in which similar situations have led to meaningful appreciation. Their thesis is based on real case studies, moments in the past where similar setups led to a significant price movement. And their flagship property, the Converse Project, is located in Nevada's Battle Mountain Trend area, a premier gold jurisdiction, producing 75% of the US's gold. I've already told you about their measured and indicated and inferred ounces, but they are also launching a drill program in March of this year. So there should be some results coming out soon. But here's what really caught my attention. Insiders have been buying, and a lot, which is a signal of strong management confidence. Insider purchases have totaled $1.2 million in Q1. Again, another strong signal from management. For example, on May 1st, 2025, Mario Vetro, co-founder and director, purchased 20,000 shares. On top of that, Tyron Badenbach, the second co-founder and director, purchased 50,000 shares. A few days before that, on April 30th, Mario purchased 10,000 shares. The day before that, 15,000 shares. On April 28th, he purchased 25,000 shares. On April 25th, he purchased 110,000 shares. On the 24th, he purchased 60,000 shares at 15 cents Canadian, a total of 240,000 shares just in the last week of April. The team assembled to run AXCP Ventures has been involved in the discovery of over 20 million ounces of gold with previous endeavors. The setup and the value proposition is very simple. Advanced gold deposits are trading anywhere from $40 to $60 per ounce. AXCP Ventures is trading at $5 an ounce. The company is cashed up with around $10 million. Peers are trading at around $49 an ounce on average, while AXCP Ventures market cap translates to only $5 an ounce. As a doctor, that's not your doctor. Please consider researching AXCP Ventures. The business model is simple. Drill the properties in order to create the conditions for an exit at valuations comparable to the recent ones. I love it when the play and the plan is very simple. Thank you, AXCP Ventures, US ticker symbol GARLF, for sponsoring this portion of the video.